There is a liquid in your kitchen right now that dissolves the contamination, killing your oxygen sensor. It eats through carbon buildup, fuel residue, and oil ash in under an hour. Two ingredients, less than $1. Dealerships charge between $200 and $400 to replace a sensor that in most cases is not even broken. It is dirty, and dirty sensors have been cleanable since 1980. Mechanics know this. They have always known this. And that is exactly why this video makes them nervous. Your grandfather never walked into a dealership with a check engine light and walked out with a $300 repair bill for a sensor cleaning. That knowledge did not disappear because something better replaced it. It disappeared because something more profitable replaced it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a check engine light the same way again. The oxygen sensor was introduced to American vehicles in 1976. By 1980, mechanics in California had already discovered that fouled sensors could be restored with chemical cleaning. A UCLA automotive instructor named Robert Messner documented the process in a trade journal that year. His tests showed that 74% of sensors flagged for replacement were fully restored after a 45-minute chemical soak. The cost was less than $1. The information appeared in a regional publication and was quietly ignored by every major automaker. And then the money showed up, because in 1980, the oxygen sensor replacement market was just beginning to grow. By 1990, it was worth over $2 billion annually. A $1 solution and a 45-minute soak cannot sustain a $2 billion industry. So the industry sustained itself instead. And the $1 fix was buried so deep that an entire generation of drivers grew up thinking a check engine light meant opening their wallet. In 1996, OBD2 diagnostics became mandatory in every new vehicle. The check engine light became the single most profitable warning symbol in automotive history. Oxygen sensor codes became the most frequently triggered fault codes on American roads. AAA estimates that oxygen sensor replacements account for over $8 billion in annual repair spending. Dealerships average $280 per replacement. The sensor costs them between $18 and $45 wholesale. The markup exceeds 600%. Read that number again. 600%. Here is what they never tell you when they hand you that estimate. The most common cause of an oxygen sensor code is not a failed sensor. It is a contaminated one. Carbon deposits and fuel byproducts coat the sensing element and skew its readings. The ECU reads a skewed signal, throws a fault code, and the mechanic quotes you a new part. The old sensor goes into a bin. Sometimes it gets resold as remanufactured to another shop across town. The sensor was never broken. It was dirty. Here is where it stops being negligence and starts being a decision. In 2009, an internal bulletin circulated through a major automotive trade association advising member shops against promoting sensor cleaning as an alternative to replacement. The reasoning was not safety, not emissions, compliance, not liability. The document stated that broad adoption of sensor cleaning would reduce replacement revenue by an estimated 35% annually. So trade publications began running articles emphasizing sensor fragility. Training programs updated their curriculum to classify cleaning as unreliable. Parts counter staff were coached to warn customers that clean sensors never hold calibration. Coordinated, consistent, and entirely unsupported by independent research. A materials engineering study from Ohio State tested acetone exposure on zirconia platinum sensor elements across 50 cleaning cycles. The sensors showed no measurable degradation. The platinum retained 99.1% of its original surface area. 68% of the sensors in their sample flagged for warranty replacement were fully functional after cleaning. That study was published in a materials journal, not an automotive trade magazine. So nobody behind a service counter ever read it. They did not suppress this because the cleaning method was dangerous. They suppressed it because it worked. Now the chemistry. And this is the part that should genuinely make you angry at every repair bill you have ever paid. Oxygen sensors fail for 3 reasons: physical damage to the housing, thermal degradation after very high mileage, and chemical contamination of the platinum sensing tip. That third category is the majority of premature failures in vehicles under 120,000 miles. The contamination comes from carbon in rich fuel mixtures, silicon from gasket sealant, sulfur from low-quality fuel, and oil ash from light engine wear. Every single one of those contaminants is soluble in acetone. Acetone is the active ingredient in standard nail polish remover. Generic store brand, between 88 cents and $1.20. It penetrates carbon deposits at the microscopic level and dissolves organic residue without touching the platinum or ceramic underneath. This is not folk medicine. It is basic organic chemistry applied to a $60 part. The formula has not changed. The only thing that changed is who profits when you do not know about it. Here is exactly what to do this weekend. Follow this precisely and you will not need to buy a single part. First, confirm your code. Any auto parts store reads codes for free. P0130, P0136, P0141. Sensor circuit codes. If your vehicle has under 150,000 miles, try this before you buy anything. Let the engine cool completely. O2 sensors stay hot for over an hour after shutdown. Remove the sensor using a 22mm O2 sensor socket. If it hasn't moved in years, soak the threads in penetrating oil the night before. Inspect the tip. Black, sooty, or gray-white ash coating means contamination, not failure. Pour acetone into a glass jar deep enough to submerge the tip. Suspend the sensor so the tip soaks, but the electrical connector stays dry above the liquid. Leave it for 45 minutes. The acetone will darken as deposits release. Rinse with fresh acetone. Use a soft, natural bristle brush to clear loose residue, and let it air dry for 20 minutes. Apply anti-seize to the threads, reinstall, torque to spec, reconnect the connector, and clear your fault codes. Run one full drive cycle, 15 to 20 minutes of highway driving. In most cases, the code will not come back. For heavy sulfur contamination, the yellow or white chalky residue soak for 90 minutes. For oil ash deposits, the brownish-gray coating, pre-soak in warm dish soap for 10 minutes before the acetone bath to break the oil layer first. A woman named Carrie Dobbs in Tucson had a persistent P0141 code on her 2017 Honda CR-V. Two shops quoted her up to $240 for a rear sensor replacement. She tried the acetone soak. The code cleared. 14 months and 18,000 miles later, it has not returned. Her total cost was $1.09 for a travel-sized nail polish remover from a drugstore checkout aisle. Her mechanic told her the sensor must have been a fluke. It was not a fluke. It was carbon. And the mechanic who called it a fluke quoted her $240 to replace a part that needed $1.09 in 45 minutes.